A university alum gets their research published. What next? What service can TandemLaunch provide to allow their work to bloom? In essence, TandemLaunch helps your work get developed and generate funds, in turn affecting the lives of millions.
TandemLaunch helps researchers to bring their ideas to market. We can bring them commercialization, we can bring them funding, we can bring them access to industry and to the broader market, all the things that allow them to take their technology really to the next level. We work with over 600 universities across the globe to identify leading research in the areas of consumer electronics.
My background is in building chemical sensing platforms. So when I came to TandemLaunch, I wanted to develop the similar application but with a technology that is much more mature, and we found that it was available with Caltech, which is one of the best technologies available in chemical sensing.
Here at TandemLaunch, we're all acutely aware of the difficulty, the uncertainty, and the value of the work that university researchers perform in making fundamental improvements to technology. Even when a technology is considered complete or at the university level, there often remain significant challenges to overcome in commercialization. While we can't eliminate those uncertainties or those challenges, what we try to do with the TandemLaunch model is to minimize them.
TandemLaunch's model is interesting from our perspective because it groups not only intellectual property from one university, it could group intellectual property for several universities. So that gives our IP a better chance of being commercialized. TandemLaunch not only just offers money, but offers support, offers an infrastructure to a startup company. Many of the VCs we see offer lots of money, but they don't provide as much technical and business support as TandemLaunch.
Whenever we receive a project from a university, the first thing that we do is to look at it, and then we can discuss it with one of our partners from the consumer electronic industry. We work closely with the Samsung and the Sonys and the Toshibas of this world. If two of our partners think that it's a good idea, that the technology is interesting, and that there's a market, then TandemLaunch is willing to make the investment.
For me, this was an ideal fit. Finding an incubator like TandemLaunch that had a number of technology projects that were just looking for, I guess, a complementary business person fit very much what I was looking for, and I think is an ideal fit for anybody that's got a similar background to me that has the business side but is looking to complement that with the technology team.
We do give support from a project management point of view, from a technology point of view, so we have deep experts in tech and in project management, and also to raise the next round of financing. We have a network of investors, whether they are angels or VCs, local or international, that are willing to invest in your startup so you can graduate from the TandemLaunch program and get the company to the next stage.
TandemLaunch offers researchers a lot of opportunity. Over the last 17 years of my career, I've worked with university research labs, now at TandemLaunch, but also in my past companies. And those collaborations have really spanned the spectrum from simple contract research on a particular topic to long-term partnerships to interns and other relationships where students come here and work with us, all the way to us having funded industrial chairs. I've funded endowed chairs in my past to help researchers really build long-term relationships with industry.
Having an academic background helps to be more connected to the university, and it definitely helps with evaluating the IPs and technologies and recent research which is out there to just try to commercialize that and bring it to the market.
TandemLaunch companies have a leg up already, quite a few legs up, because they have a well-entrenched syndicate of investors that likes the TandemLaunch model. So the LPs, the limited partners that have invested in TandemLaunch itself, have also acted as the investors.
As the CFO of TandemLaunch, one of my main role and main function is to help the teams raising that round of financing. The way I do it is usually by building relationships with the investors and the VCs, whether they're local or international, introducing those investors to the entrepreneur, helping the entrepreneurs to build a pitch deck so it becomes their venture becomes very attractive for the financing community, and establishing the right value of the company for the next round.
One of the questions we get very often is how much control the university or the researcher will have of the process. The quick answer is your control will be proportional to the contribution you make. Startups are in the business of bringing all sorts of people together to build something really valuable. So in the ideal startup, nobody really has absolute dictatorial control, neither the researchers nor the entrepreneur leadership nor the investors, but rather consensus is needed. And this is where it helps that TandemLaunch is an equity investor on the same level as the researchers and the early entrepreneurs, the founders. Unlike a normal fund, which will invest continuously in future rounds, TandemLaunch doesn't do so. We come in with you and we stay at that level. So you have our support as a voting block to ensure that early shareholders, early founders, and early researchers get rewarded and have a voice over the course of the company's trajectory.
We graduated in October, so we became an independent company. We raised a round of financing, and we're purely a software play. There's no hardware involved in it.
It is the latest trend in statistics. More and more professional sports teams, even figure skaters, are using analytic data to judge talent. And a Montreal-based tech startup is trying to jump into that growing market.
Over the last 17 years, I've been commercializing university technology that is now on over 200 million devices in the world. When I go to Best Buy, I can tell my children, your dad contributed to that thing, to that thing, to that thing. TandemLaunch is your partner to make such success happen.